Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, move in silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat Earth Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Big Cat Astrology. Big Cat Wave, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising. The planetary hot top is to add to your almanac over the next 7 days. On the 4th of March, Mercury in Pisces sextiles Uranus in Taurus. Unconventional ideas may emerge spontaneously. The sextile between Mercury in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus sparks innovation, vitality and non-conformity. Today your intuition is particularly sharp, facilitating clear and original expression of thoughts and adaptability to change. You'll find yourself thinking swiftly and gravitating towards fields like technology, physics and maths. There's a strong inclination towards unconventional viewpoints, and innovative ideas may lead to financial opportunities. Interactions through friends may introduce you to intriguing individuals. On the 5th, the moon in Capricorn trines Jupiter in Taurus. It's a phase marked by favorable outcomes. Social and financial success are favored during this trine between the moon in Capricorn and Jupiter in Taurus. With a positive outlook, sincerity and popularity, public-spirited endeavors flow smoothly. This period is excellent for socializing, potentially forming significant romantic connections. On the 6th, the moon in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces. Take time to visit sick friends or relatives. Volunteering is also favorable. This period fosters a deep connection with female friends and encourages creative expression. Spending time at the beach, especially meditating at sunrise, brings profound relaxation. On the 7th, the moon in Aquarius is conjunct to Pluto in Aquarius. This transit may lead to feelings of melancholy and a tendency to seek superficial pleasures such as online voyeurism. Exercise caution in intimate encounters and prioritize safety. Emotional flare-ups could strain relationships. Women may express a desire for personal transformation. Financial matters, including taxes, may require attention during this period. On the 8th, the moon in Aquarius is in conjunction to Mars in Aquarius. This conjunction can evoke feelings of irritability, aggression, and a propensity for gossip, alongside heightened passion. Physical tension may manifest, potentially causing strains in marital relationships or your susceptibility to health issues. On the 9th, Mars in Aquarius squares Uranus in Taurus. Impatience and irritability may lead to unexpected conflicts. Redirect this energy towards positive changes and address underlying issues to prevent escalation. On the 10th, the new moon in mutable water sign Pisces at 20 degrees and 16 minutes. A focus on spiritual pursuits takes precedence. The imaginative new moon in Pisces invites exploration of limitless possibilities and subconscious realms. An opportune time for seeking guidance from spiritual mentors and embracing the boundless potential of this lunar phase. Please watch my comprehensive video on the Pisces new moon and its effect on each individual sun, moon and rising sign. Please stay tuned in for the tarot reading to follow. Make your wave. Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat Earth Sign. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your next 7 days. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Big cat wave. Energies. Up, up, up. I insist. Let's dive in, darling dears, and unpack. The overall energy you'll be rolling with over the next 7 days, Earth signs. Let's give it a good shofty. You have the energy of the 8, darling dears. 8 is the number of money. Skrilla.com if you're going to be in your bag or be looking for a bag, darling dears, because there's a thin line between the top 0 and the bottom 0. The energy of the 8 tells me that you are also what? A master manifester, darling dears. Contradictory to what I just said, darling dears, but this is true about the number 8. You'll be able to manifest, but it's also about you guarding your temple and your temper over the next 7 days, darling dears. Your birthday could be the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th. The letters associated with the number 8 are H, Q, and Z. The number 8 is represented by the planet Saturn, darling dears. Saturn is represented by the letters P and F. Your luckiest numbers over the next 7 days will be 2, 4, and 8. Money matters will work in your favor, darling dears, but you must hold your gangster, hold your temper, darling dears, so that you can think clearly. Why? The energy of the 8 speaks about what? Trouble coming your way. Someone trying to shift some blame on you. The energy of the 8 is represented by the strength and the star card in Tarot. It speaks about some kind of movement, some kind of change you've made in your life. You've achieved something, darling dears, which is, good golly and gosh. Because it's about the 8th house for you over the next 7 days. The 8th house is the rebirth or the transformation of yourself, darling dears. Death to the old. No longer mixing your monies with other people. People may be upset because you are not mixing your wealth with them. Good golly and gosh, and they're being blame shifting and mean. You've let go of a situation, darling dears. Maybe you've been on a path of spiritual and psychic awakening. Love it. Well, guess what? The 8th house is the house of what? Money and karma. Yes, baby. It appears my earth sign eyes are upon your throne. Yes, baby. And skullduggery is afoot. The energy of the 3 speaks about conflict, tongue wrestling, arguments. People are arguing about you behind your back. Yes, baby. Your shapely back, law 16 of the 48 laws of power. Why? Because your life path is about to make a major change, darling dears. Maybe your finances haven't been to the level that you feel you deserve. Well, everything's about to change from today going forward, darling dears. And if they was hating you before, you've gone from the frying pan to the fire. But that's none of your business because it's behind your back for a reason, darling dears. Your rear view mirror is about to what? Go to minuscule as your windscreen goes to what? Humongous, darling dears. Something major's happening. Why? Because the energy of the 8 is about achievement, darling dears. Love it. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Because the energy of Scorpio is of what? Which is the 8th house, the 8th house of transformation, darling dears. Scorpio is ruled by what? Pluto energy. So we're coming through with Pluto now. Listen, this is no time to play. This is about you getting what your just deserts. So you've created some level of freedom, which is going to be a painful ending to others as they realize that you really have changed, darling dears. And you are not changing back. Not for all the tea in China, especially not for them. 8th house also comes with what? Envy, darling dears. Something to do with taxes, insurance, maybe joint finances, because the 8th house is also the marriage house. Maybe you've let go of that situation. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. That was a dinosaur belch. Darling dears, excuse me. Pinkies up because I speaks the truth. Roof. Good golly and gosh, everything is a sign and signal in my messages, darling dears. You also have the energy of the 5. The arguments is about your security that you're creating for yourself, darling dear. Something that you've transformed. Maybe on your spiritual journey you are
operating a spiritual business, or you're leaning on spirit to guide you, darling dears. The 8th house is also taking a risk in your transformation, darling dears. You are not the same person you used to be. You are now big cat and you are owning that space. Love it. The 8th house is juxtaposed to the 2nd house, darling dears. The 2nd house is your past. Yes, I told you the past is coming a calling, darling dears. They've got hockey sticks at dawn for you, my big cat earth sign, over the next 7 days. They want to know how you meet your obligations. If you have a spiritual business, maybe they've been investigating on the outside, but they don't know what's really going on in your wallet, pocketbook, handbag, or purse. Your comfortabilities, darling dears. It's also about your self-worth. That's the 2nd house is about self-worth, ruled by Venus energy, darling dears. Venus is about beauty. You are feeling beautiful, beautified. You are extremely creative and artistic, darling dears. Maybe this is how you are making your spiritual business work for you. However you are applying it, darling dears, without your business. But this is all part of your what? Ascension and psychic as well as spiritual awakening. Good golly and gosh, you are someone or someone's karma, darling dears, over the next 7 days. The energy of the 3-5 said somebody is coming to visit you, darling dears. The visit could also be via email. Yes, baby. 8th house is what? A water energy. Scorpio is water energy, darling dears. Somebody's also visiting you through divination. You are getting many readings being called on you, darling dears, because the water house is also about what? Privacy, darling dears. They're doing it under the cover to find out what's going on in your life. Yeah, because the life houses in astrology are the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th house. Somebody or someone is trying to determine why you are so mysterious, why your life trajectory has changed, and why you've cut them off. Listen, it's going down, Bobby Brown. All of this intel from the number 8. Let's bring out Saturn energy so that we can remind it. We've been getting a lot of 8s and 9s over the past few weeks, darling dears. Let me just get the Saturn card. Unless it's hiding. If it's hiding, that's it, mate. No, it's not. Yeah. The truth roof, darling dears. You've told your truth to yourself, and someone or someone's need to tell the truth to themselves. The energy of the 8 is telling you to go big or go home, darling dears. Expand your limits no matter what. You are being challenged and tested at this time because a major blessing is on your way from the bodies of works you've done. This healing, this ascension, this new transformation in you. It's a time for you to be prosperous. Reap the benefit of your rewards, darling dears. The Capricorn energy element comes out on a 38, darling dears. That's the energy of 11. 11 is a master number of divine inspiration, darling dears. You're a deep thinker. But it's about you, what? Creating, darling dears. Making major moves in overdrive with these intuitions that you've been getting to create. Continue to shine, darling dears, because your light is inspiring others. Yeah. Maybe you're a teacher, a speaker, you're a writer, or you use all of those and much more, because Venus encompasses so many ways of creativity and putting out that beauty, darling dears. But most of all, you know your worth, and people are seeing that you know your worth, and they don't like it. That's their business, not yours, darling dears. Other people's opinions is that you're back for a reason. Going to use the FP55 Oracle Intel to get some quick intuitive guidance. These are my decks which I put together. If you'd like to pick them up, follow the link in the description box below. Right, jumped right out with the energy of the 3, and you know how I love a 3. Peter 5:8, darling dears, tells you to be what? Of a sober spirit and on the alert, darling dears. And look, it's come out with an 11. What did I just say? 11. We've had 11, so an 11 fade. You're in master manifestation mode at this moment in time. Instant manifestation. Portals, gateways, everything is opening up for you. Use the energy that's being sent your way, darling dears. Do not lock and bind it. You do lock it, you do bind it, but with love and light, and you release it to the Most High. Remember, these people or this person want to play spiritual ping pong with you, darling dears. You haven't got the time. You're about to be blessed in a significant way, out loud. Remember, divine will take a nobody and lift them up in front of everybody. into somebody. Fist bump. Let's carry on with the read. Good golly and gosh. You've also got what? Tinky Winky on a 7. 7 is the number of genius, darling dears. Why? Because of the knowledge you've been afforded, darling dears. Introspection, you've done it. Understand, you've done that. But you understood true wisdom is that you know nothing, darling dears. You are a continuous learner. This is part of the alert. This is part of the creator that's in you, darling dears. Your ancestors ain't plain blood. They come out pow pow. Okay. What's this? Gratitude. And it's on the energy of a 28. 28 is the number of wealth, darling dears. Your life is about to make a metasphoric, what? 180, darling dears. Bravo, big cat. Posh, clap, love it. Hit me up in the comments, right? And the Gmail of your successes, because this is your time, darling dears. You are the karma for many people. And one was in a marriage house with you. Remember I told you that. They're looking at your finances, darling dears. Maybe you have a platform. Maybe, listen, whatever you've been doing, you've been telling the truth, darling dears. You are a natural born teacher. You've showed people discipline. You've showed people how to attain self-love. Good God. And you are what? Showing gratitude every step of the way. Because as you enlighten others, you enlightened yourself. You're being paid in kind. What's the base of the deck? Hobosexual. What did I say? They want all the smoke. The energy of the 5 and the 6, the 51. Yeah. It tells me what? Somebody wants you to cooperate with them, darling dears, but they want you to accept them for whom they are. Listen, I don't know where they're looking for feeble-minded. Listen, big cat, bestie, oi. You are not Jesus, right? And you don't have Alzheimer's. You have the memory of an elephant. Yes, forgiveness is right. You forgive them so that judgment can be called on them in Kifar. It's not your fight. They're beefing with God, darling dears. Remember, it's a blessing blocker trying to block the offer that's coming through to you. 9 is on the fruition, darling dears. Yes, baby, completing. And you have attained something because you surrendered to the process. Love it. I don't hate it, bestie. You're doing fabulously well. Let's get a deck and dive deeper. Let's get a deck I haven't used in a while. I'm going to use the steampunk. Base of the deck, Hermit. You was isolated, darling dears. And it also speaks about the marauders that are knocking at your door with their unhappiness. They're watching you attain a new begin from what they believed was loneliness for you, darling dears. Maybe they tried to ice you out of a group, darling dears, with betrayal and dishonesty. Well, guess what? They didn't expect you to stand alone, walk alone, claim independence, find your spiritual path, and be vigilant, darling dears. Yeah, you are being recognized for being different, darling dears, from the good, the bad, and the ugly, but most of all, the good. The dull yellow in the back speaks about the envious eye, the eye of Sauron. That's on you, darling dears. They don't like that you've what? You bent the matrix, darling dears. Ha ha! Good for them. They've got to learn to love it. Excusez-moi s'il vous plaît. You are building, darling dears, but 8 is about success. It's about you achieving a new level of depth, darling dears. But your depth is guidance for others, and you are getting rewarded in kind. You saw the energy of the 8 and the number 28 come out for you, darling dears. The 28 means wealth, and it breaks down to a 10. This is the ending of a cycle, and you are getting renewal and being rewarded, darling dears. How is my finances and work looking for the earth signs? Let's try to flip up. You've got the Ace of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the 10 of Pentacles, darling dears. What did I tell you? You come through with the truth. Not only that, clarity. Yeah, spiritual guidance and protection, darling dears. The 5 of Swords speaks about what? The enemy at the door, darling dears. People who would like to come and stab you again. But guess what? Divine, look at them coming through with the blade, right? But divine is giving you the handle, darling dears. This is what? Logic and common sense. You will not be cut by the same blade twice, darling dears. They're watching you attain security, stability. Yeah, and this is what? The breaking of a generational curse. You were born different for a reason, darling dears. You're working your finances. You're cutting off these blessing blockers. Look at this. Judgment in the reverse. What did I say, darling dears? They want to argue and fight with you, sending you a lot of negative energy. People want everything that you've got going on to fail. Somebody's going into law enforcement, or some form of legal work is going to be taken up. over the next 7 days, darling dears. I'm seeing some kind of medical thing to do with your work. Maybe somebody, because retirement has been bandied around quite a bit. Somebody's retiring, but something to do with the medical, darling dears. 5 of Cups. And listen, if you're retiring because of medical purposes, darling dears, it's about to go your way. Look, 11-11 fade. I can't make it up. Work-wise, you're going to discover that you are amongst the den of thieves, darling dears. But remember, you are the prize in the situation. People are going to be sending out resumes, and I see a job change, darling dears. But you're going into a situation where you're appreciated, where you're going to be helping the less fortunate. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Your knowledge and your skills is going to the right place, darling dears. To those that truly need it, somebody's going to be regretting how they treated you, darling dears, going forward. Why are they going to be in regret when you've got the whole 10 of Pentacles by yourself? Don't get me wrong, darling dears. Don't think that your work and whatever isn't stable. You came out with the 10. You came out getting the what? The handle, no longer holding on to the blade that they would love to serve you with, darling dears. You're wrapped in your red cloak of what? Root chakra, darling dears. More stable and firm and secure. No longer in freeze. Listen. Blessed and highly favored King of Pentacles. Somebody's also going to be meeting their significant other during some kind of soiree, some kind of meeting, darling dears. But this is going to be like a love at first sight situation. Good golly and gosh. 9 of Pentacles. Listen, I can't make it up. The Skrilla is pouring on you, but it also speaks again, single and independent, darling dears. Independently thinking because you're different. You're getting your intel from the Most High. Your ancestors are guiding you, darling dears. Your next 7 days is going to be like a metaphoric rise. Let me go a bit deeper. Do I go with the big? No, we're going to go with the tiny cards, darling dears. Let's unpack this. Normally, I break the read down into the singles and the partnerships, but this looks like you're sweeping 10, 10, 10 across the board. Basically, your deck, darling dears, we got the 3 of Wands. What did I say? Evil eyes. Maybe there's 3 main instigators, darling dears, looking at your rising star from a distance. Did I say they were spying? Listen, that if they didn't get up tomorrow, it's because you haven't posted, darling dears. You haven't put an effort into something that they wanted to fail, and it's got spirituality all up and in this shiznai. Clarify the 10 of Pentacles, please. Good golly and gosh, I can't make it up. What did I say? A sudden change. You have the Tower, right? And you've got what? The 8 of Cups. Because you left a traumatic and dramatic situation. You're putting it down, or you've put it down, darling dears. 8 is the number of karma. I told you that, bestie. Oi, are you paying attention? The 8th house is of transformation. Divine wants you what? Law number 20 of the 48 laws of power. Don't commit to anyone, right? Law number what? 25. Continue to reinvent thyself, darling dears. Yep. Law number what? 31. Control your options. And law number 34. Continue to what? Act like the king or queen you are. Yeah, I almost said law number 4. Law number 4 is what? Say less, big cat. Because you're winning. Whatever you've been going through, darling dears, the efforts that you've been making, but you had to what? 100% cut off the wrong line. The wrong line of energy coming towards you, darling dears. Look where the man is. He's standing in front of a brick wall. Brick wall is representative of your past way of thinking, past way of being, darling dears. And look where the sword, where you're being handed the handle. This woman's foot is in the light. You've got a foot in both worlds, darling dears. Well, the spirit world is working on your behalf. Wowzers. What a turnaround. Okay. It's all about this 5 of Swords. You getting the handle, no longer the blade. What's this? Good golly and gosh. You've got 4 cards, darling dears. Your first card was what? The King of Pentacles. Sorry, the King of Swords on its face. Swords on the swords, darling dears. These are narcissists, darling dears. These are people that are trying to take you down. If you have a platform, somebody's going to try and work against it. But you also have the Justice card, right? The 2 of Pentacles and the Death card of transformation. Have we not been talking about the 8th house? No weapon formed against you is going to prosper, darling dears. What did I say? You are under siege with spiritual attacks over the next 7 days. But know this, darling dears, continue to call in your ancestors. Get your obsidian black crystal, put it by your mirrors, darling dears. Saturn comes through with the frequency of 396. Continue to play that in the background of your life over the next 7 days. Saturn is also rules the black tourmaline as well as the black obsidian, darling. It's the same crystals I always tell you to put near your mirror, especially if it's in your boudoir. This is about what restrictions and challenges. Someone's trying to block your works, darling dears. They've been pocket watching. Something's happened in that situation. It could also actually be an actual death, darling dears. 7 of Cups. Yeah, a lot of confused energy, darling dears. You was very confused in that situation. Yeah, what's this? What's this that just fell out on it? The star card on its forehead. You would have never healed or changed if you just stayed there. And that's the truth roof. You are not a tree. You are a big cat, darling dears. And you're about to see a major turnaround in your life. Tower moment means major change. The Tower is ruled by Uranus energy. Uranus energy rules online, darling dears. So you may have, someone is definitely trying to attack something that you have online. They will win a battle, but not the war. Remember, I told you that. Don't get tied up in the details, darling dears. If it's an account, you can always start again. What did I say? Seeds of skullduggery is sown. Pentacles represent online. And again, look, I can't make this up, darling dears. Look at this nefarious. The nefarious ones at work. Judgment card, 2 different decks. What's the likelihood of that? And both in the reverse, darling dears. Good, golly, and gosh. These people are weak, darling dears. They have to get a whole community of bottom feeders to come against you. But every seed they sow, darling dears, it's not stable. Return to sender, darling dears. Why? Because you've given it to the Most High. 9 of Peas on its face, darling dears. On its face. Jealousy, envy. They're having financial setbacks. Some kind of mental issues going on around them as well, right? They've got no future plans, darling dears. So they're jealous of what you've created for yourself. You're coming out like the King of Pentacles, whether you are single or in a relationship or partnership, because you have clarity and truth, darling dears. This same light that is on the sword of truth, right, is glancing off the blade, right, and shining on her foot, powering up the blade as it's being handed. The handle is being gifted to you, darling dears. No longer holding on to the blade. Base of the deck. Yeah, leave them where they are, out in the cold, darling dears. That's the mentality they wanted you to stay in. I can't make this up. 4 of Cups. They wanted you to be dependent on them, fearing change, right? Well, guess what? World card, you put them down like a hot potato or potato, darling dears. And it shows again they're watching you. You also have worldwide travel coming through, Queen of Wands. This is about plan, plotting, and strategizing. And it's also a movement card, darling dears. Some of you are going to be able to acquire world travel, darling dears, because you got them pentacles raining down on you over the next 7 days. My stomach is doing flip-flops. It's going all over the place, darling dears. The butterflies of it all. Listen, I listen to every sign in my readings, darling dears, because the messages are the truth roof. Take what resonates and junk the rest. Good gosh. Hold on tight, big cat, earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. The universe, say yes. Hey! And someone or someone's is big mad, sending a lot of negative energy. They didn't think that you would choose you over them. Base of the deck. Look, changing on a 9. I can't make it up. Fruition, ending of that cycle. And also the 9th house. Number 9 is representative of the 9th house. It speaks about what? In-laws as well. Yes, the 9th house also represents internet. Whatever you've put out there, darling dears. Well, guess what? People believe in you. People are looking up to you, darling dears. Many people's worldview has changed, and the 9th house is long-distance travel. It also represents what? Foreign people and foreign lands. The broadening of minds. Listen, if you're putting something on the internet, you are going to countries where your feet haven't stepped, but divine is giving you an opening, darling dears. And this is represented by my God card also, as well as the High Honor card on the Kipper deck, and it's on the 5 of change, right? Yes, baby, which you activated constructive change when you said no. Yeah, look, distance arises. The bars is no longer holding you down. You are free, darling dears. Message coming through on the 7, genius, darling dears. Somebody's going to be signing a business contract. Adjudication is going to go in your favor. This new beginning because you worked hard, darling dears. And the 3 and the 4 is a 7. Again, guidance, spiritual guidance. Listen to your intuition and determine. Listen, Freudian slip meant to come out. What did I say? Incoming, darling dears. The number 27 is also very lucky. It could be your door number, the registration on your car, a significant day or date in your life, darling dears. But the 27, who has a 27 specifically? Is going to be blessed beyond compare. Can't you see that secure building in the background? All of that light is about enlightenment. And we've got the Queen's head in the upright, which is smiling on you, bestie. Be prepared for this major turnaround in your life, but you deserve it. I feel like I want to go to one more deck. I feel giddy, darling dears. Love it. I don't hate it. Final message for a big cat, because there's an offer on the tableau for you. What's underneath that, right? Pay attention to the signs and signals. Didn't I say synchronicities of the 11? Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Final card, darling dears. I can't make it up here and now. It's between 2 pillars, which is like Boaz and Jacqueline, right? The past is behind you, the opening, right? The archway is this new passageway, this new pathway that's opening up for you. You've come so far, darling dears, and you are being paid for all of that hard internal work, because the 8th house is also shadow work. The 3 and 2 is the 5. Prepare for change, darling dears, because life is never going to be the same for you again after this next 7 days. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Bravo, big cat air sign. I nearly said air sign. Watch the air sign read. There'll be a message for you, darling dears. Maybe it's an air sign or signs that's trying to counteract your blessings. Remember, the past is the past for learning material only. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, 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 cat.
Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' possession to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.